What is up, everybody? As always, at Thriving on Fat on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, Megan Johnson here. So, I am on my way to the gym for my first exercise. I'll be doing the second day of my strength protocol, and I'll be doing a yesterday I ended up doing the strength workout, and then I was able to fit in the metabolic conditioning later, so I did that yesterday. So today I will be doing my other strength set, and then coupled with my skill work and whatnot, so that'll be fun. I will hop on again later to talk to y'all a little bit about what I'll be eating and turning my macros that we went over the other day into actual tangible foods. So, just as a preview, as a spoiler, I guess for lack of a better term, it'll be a lot of fatty cuts of meat, cooked in also some, fats, and probably some fats in my coffee, because it's hard to get really, really super fatty cuts of meat because I want to keep my fat high. And I think that's going to be the hardest thing going forward as we get more and more into increasing my calories a little bit, because meat only has so much fat before I'm eating like a pound of bacon, which I don't mind. Everybody loves their bacon, but I mean, I just want some variety in the kind of foods I eat. I am going to be experimenting with fish. I'm not a big fan of fish, so I'm gonna see if I can doctor it up and throw some stuff on it. And honestly, the last time I tried fish, it was some really crappy fish, so maybe, doing some little bit different approaches to the fish, making a few good salmon burgers. I've had a salmon burger before at my job. I work for a grocery store, and they sample salmon burgers every once in a while. And it was a pretty good salmon burger. I mean, I could tell it was salmon, but I mean, I could probably make a salmon burger and just do that. It would probably work just fine. And yeah, I just gotta not be a grumpy grub and be a grown adult and actually eat stuff I don't like. So yeah, there's that. I'll probably do that. Maybe some sardines, chop them up in some meat and, grill it and chop it up and call it a burger. Also good. Throw up some liver in there too. I just want to make sure I get the best micronutrient profile that I can, especially since I'm doing all meat for a pretty extended period of time. I know people like, Dr. Sean Baker, he's been doing nothing but basically ribeyes for, I think, going on a year and a half, 2 years or so. And so I know it can be done just doing ribeyes, but I just want to see if there's any change depending upon the types of food I use as fuel. Anywho, I've been droning on for about 4 minutes, and this was just supposed to be a quick update and let you know how the workout yesterday went, which went awesome, by the way. It's been a while since I've actually been able to go to the gym to work out. I have some weights at home that I mess around with when I'm unable to go to the gym, and it was good finally getting back in there since I was sick the last week and, only really did the 1 rep maxes and kept it pretty low key aside from that workout wise. Anywho, I will talk to y'all again later. Bye. Peeps. So, I am about to start my first meal. After I fully finish that meal, I'm going to hop on again with y'all and go over what I'm eating and so forth. So, I did not end up doing my workout as originally intended because the enrolling into Gold's Gym took like an hour and a half or so. So I will be going later today because I was getting a little hungry. It's about 11 o'clock here. And so I was getting a little hungry and I wanted to come home, grab some grub, do some computer work, and then see if I can head to Gold's after that. So anyways, I'll talk to y'all after making my food. I'll give you a quick show of exactly what this fun stuff is. What? There we go. Got my ground beef that is half beef, half pork. We got some bacon. It's gonna be some yummy stuff. Anyways, I will talk to y'all soon. Bye. So the key to any good macro setup is knowing what you're going to have and having a plan in mind. So these are what I'm going to be focusing on mostly eating. All right, so I have a standard thing that I have for my coffee just about every morning, and it is MCT oil, heavy cream, and a little bit of the Perfect Keto coffee base. I also have their chocolate base, so I will switch between definitely these two, and sometimes I'll have the keto coffee stuff. Sometimes I won't, and what I do is they have these at my store. It's just like a 2-ounce container. It's a glass vial and it's 2 ounces. So what I do is I put 1 ounce of the pure MCT oil along with 1 ounce of the heavy cream, and I keep this in a glass jar with me that I take to work and add as needed. And then I use this little scale to measure out. I put that on there, turn it on, do the tare weight, and pour as needed. And then from there, about that, guys, wife just came through, so I had to talk to her. Anyways, all right, so this is the coffee. This is the scale that I measure what I put in my coffee. And I'll go over exactly what those macros look like in a second on the screen share portion of the video. And then I have the Duke's the smoked sausages and the pork rinds as snacks if I need them. I really haven't used the pork rind much. These are more snacks for my son, but I do have, when I'm feeling nippish, I'll have 1 or 2 of these, and I'll throw them in my macro calculator as well. And then I have these are, I think, from Butcher Box or something like that. And these are my grass-fed steaks. I've got a strip loin and a ribeye, and I have these in my macro calculator as well. And I have not put this one in for the week yet, so I don't know when I'll be eating it. But I have this. And then I also have my 73/27 ground beef, as well as a half pork, half beef mixture that I bought at Target last week. And so these are basically all that's going to be on my meal template, as well as some sausages that I just finished up. So they're on the template, but I won't be consuming them this week. That was for last week. So now I'm going to do the screen share with y'all. So guys, like I mentioned, I wanted to show you my macro calculator, which is my Macros Plus that I use. And so I'm going to show you the meals that I came up with and how I'll be eating them and all that fun stuff. This is what I had today. You can see my keto coffee, which is the 1 ounce of heavy cream and 1 ounce of MCT. And then that's a little bit different from what I'll be having the rest of the week, because I have some friends coming over and I didn't want to eat all of my food all at once. So right now, week 1 is what I had last week. And as you can see, I just had some ground beef with some pork and some more ground beef, which I basically either made into 2 burger patties or some ground beef with some chicken sausage and a few slices of bacon. And basically all of those week 1, 1.2 and 1.3 are basically the same thing. And then I accidentally did a double on week 1.3. All right, so week 2, this is what I'll have most of the week. And as you can see, it's a little low on the protein. It's only 1.1 or 1.2 almost. So that leaves me the chance to have some of the either pork rinds or sausage that I showed you earlier. And so this basically breaks down to the strip loin I showed you, 1 egg, a piece of bacon, a little bit of the pork stuff that I'll show you in a future episode, as well as some cheese and burger patty. And So this is what I'll be having, one of my possible meals. And then the second meal is week 2.2, and it's basically the same thing, just a ribeye instead, and the burger, and it's slightly different on the macros, but barely. It's very similar and allows me, I can either have an extra slice of bacon, or I can have, sorry, my wife's getting some food in the background, so you'll hear that. I can either have an extra slice of bacon, or I can have an extra piece of sausage or something. So that leaves me a little bit of leeway on my macros. And also the really cool thing about this is I can either add it all as an individual item or as single items. That's one thing I love about this app, and I can switch everything from the grams to slices to from grams to ounces. It's awesome. I love this little app. It's like $1.90 in the App Store. I found it because this is the one that Keto Savage likes and uses, and he went over it in one of his videos, and I was like, whoa, that's awesome. And I really liked the features that he was talking about, so it made me want to go out and use it, and it's super awesome, and it really makes tracking really easy because, for example, back into here, you can actually, that one, select day options. You can actually choose depending upon, carnivore, and then I have, my wife was experimenting with lowering the protein and upping the fat, and she was experimenting a little bit with moving that stuff around, so I had that on there for her, and then she realized she didn't like tracking, so she stopped using that altogether. Not everybody likes tracking, which is fair. Anywho, that's all I've got for y'all today, for now at least, and I'll go over the rest of what we're talking about in the next video. Hey guys, so that's how I go from macros to actual food. A lot of it really all depends on, I'm standing at my little macro calculator and figuring out, the grams of carbs, protein, and fat, and just sort of wiggling it around in a, decent way to make sure I have enough of each of them. And so it's, a little bit of time behind my screen figuring out what works, what doesn't work, and so on and so forth. The main thing you want to focus on, especially on a ketogenic diet, is getting enough fat. Sorry, I like squatting rather than just standing. But what I like to focus on, when I do my ketogenic macros is really making sure I get enough fat in there. That's especially when you're doing meat only. It's a little bit harder to get all those fats in because, a lot of people prefer the lean cuts of meat, and that's what a lot of stores cater to nowadays because that's generally what they want. And when I come across the, 78, 20, 87, 27 % ground beef, where it's a little bit higher on the fat, I get as much of it as I can because it's a great source of fat and it's hard to get, especially on an all meat diet. Anyways, so that's what I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about today. I wanted to show you the macro breakdown, the food breakdown. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, just reach out. Hopefully I can help you. And just, I basically do the exact same thing for my clients on a weekly basis. And I just, give them, crunch the numbers, give them the meal template, and all they have to do is the last part that I just showed you on the My Macros Plus. All they have to do is make the food, get the food, done. So I hope that helps you figure out a little bit on the methods and madness behind how I make and create my meals. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you like the whole entire episode, and I hope it streams together. I hope it streams well, nicely together. This is with the last episode and this episode are really the only episodes where I'm doing different, not takes, it's all one take, but it's different segments throughout the day. And I'm really liking this format because I'm able to get a little bit more concise and tune in on what exactly I want to talk to you guys about in that one segment. Anyways, I hope you like it. Reach out, tell me what you think. If you'd like to work with me, check out in the bottom of the description and you can do so there.